is stupid and it's hard, and everyone knows that. But in 1996, a random fish came along and was like, no, it's not hard, but it is stupid. So I'm going to make it more complicated. And thus, Chess960 was born, aka Fisher Random. Okay, so if you don't know, Fisher Random is when all the pieces over here are basically swapped, and then things become really random. And today we're going to be playing some Fisher Random, if I get a game. Okay, we finally got a game against a 1098. Doubt this guy is 1098. This guy's like probably 1600, 1700. I waited too long to not play. And so we will play. Okay, let's look at our pieces. Super random bishops, random knights, and everything is random. Okay, we should probably just charge forth and take the center. Let's play e4. I don't play e4, I play d4, but I'm feeling frisky. Okay, so d4. Let's look at our bishops. Now our bishop is ready to hop into action. He plays this ready style and hops out his knight. Okay, so we have to defend this pawn, or we can gambit it for no reason. A funny move is to play g3. I don't know why I would play g3. G3 makes no sense. We could also mega castle over here. So probably no g3. We can't defend it with our knight. Now, we could play d3 very passive. We could play f3. I don't like f3. We could also play this, but this feels like entirely too weird. Now, another probably like good chess move is to push and then say, what are you doing with this knight? This might not be the best of ideas, but we're going to do it anyways, I think. Okay, so now we have to think about this. We can play a move like bishop g4 with a tempi and then say, what do you want to do to defend the knight? He's probably going to say, I want to push my pawn simultaneously attacking yours, which is okay. Now, the good thing about that, if that does happen, is then we have knight d3, and if he's not careful, then we can just take the pawn, or we can take his queen if he captures. Okay. So that's a funny move, and I kind of want to play f4 because it's too funny not to play. Now, f4, though, he does get this move, and then he attacks my bishop, which is like semi-annoying. Okay, so can we stop that idea? The answer is, I don't even, wait, can we? I mean, yeah, the bishop's weirdly on g4, so like we can stop knight e2 pretty easily. Okay, so so this is a funny game already. Now, funnily enough, I think we should probably just not be stupid and just play bishop d1 and say, do you know that your knight is hanging? He might not. I don't know. Maybe he sees it. I do think this player is rated around 1600, 1700. Yeah, so he did see that his knight was hanging. So we'll give this guy props. I know this says 1098, ignore it. Ignore this ELO too. I played like 5 games without a knight and it didn't go well. And then I just lost to a 2100 rated player before this, actually 2200. Okay, so what should we do? That's bloopers though. I don't know. There's probably a couple different ways to approach this position. An interesting one is to play g4. I don't know if I like g4 too much. g4 pawn takes, bishop takes seems suspiciously bad. Right now, we should probably just do some simple development, develop a knight, and then see what happens. Then maybe develop this other knight, develop a bishop, and then maybe think about castling at some point if we can. That would be nice. Remember to castle, guys. Now, what's really interesting is that if we want to castle, all we really need to do it, all we need to do is play bishop e2, and then we can actually long castle, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Here, okay, so I don't want to take for no reason. I would rather play a move like bishop e2 and then see what he does. Now, the problem with bishop e2 is I forgot that it'll run into this if we take with the knight, right? So the question is, do we want to take with the pawn or the knight? Oof, I don't really know. I feel like we have to do our due diligence here and take with the pawn and then unfortunately allow the knight hop, right? I don't know. I don't see a way around that. I meant to take with the knight. Wait, did I mean to take with the knight? I don't even know. Talking is hard. Okay, so we took with the pawn and I think that's okay. I don't even know what I was just thinking. I was thinking that if we take... I don't know how to verbalize anything. Okay, so he cannot play this. This is the point I was saying, that if we take with the knight, he can play this. This is the whole point I was trying to make. Okay, so how do we want to approach this? Also, my dumb one bonus forgot the bishop was scoping this diagonal. Yeah, bishops usually start there. Now, we could really question him and see what he wants to do. We could also long castle, which is absolutely diabolical. But let's just do this, because the pawn is hanging. How is it hanging this whole time? Oh my god, it's just been hanging. That's so funny. My rook was trapped. Okay, so he trades down for basically no reason, or as far as I know, basically no reason. I kind of want to take with the rook, and then if we long castle, then we have 2 rooks over here on the on the f pile, which looks really good to me. Putting pressure on his rook over here. That's probably fine. If he saw that my pawn on a2 was hanging, I would have been dead lost because I would have been losing my rook, right? It was hanging for a long time, no? Yeah, quite a long time. So, silly Tunish is bad. Okay. I think we have some options here. He's probably just aggressively pushing his pawns for no reason. Let's just long cattle and then see what happens. Then we can put a rook on f1 if we want. Now, notably, if he pushes, I don't think we care. Rook f2 and we're okay. Rook f2, rook f1, and then we're just chilling. Okay, so he cannot punish me for this, like, literally at all. The thing is, though, now my pawn is hanging, and I couldn't have played this anyways. So I guess that's the punish. Now, we do have an interesting idea here. We could maybe even just play, like, d4 with a tempi attacking the queen, which is maybe something we should consider. Now, I don't think there's much trickery to be played here. So I could also... Oof, this bishop is very bad. So we could think about developing it. Now, we could also play a move like rook f1, which is also interesting. Maybe play rook f1. Let's just play d4. d4 looks like the better of the two moves. Let's play d4 and then see if he lunges the queen, which is entirely possible. I'll see you guys in the next game, I guess. And this is how the game ended. Okay, already into the next one immediately. I did not expect this. This guy is way higher than 1500. Forgot to say the guy before he was about 1200. I thought he was way higher. I thought I was like completely genjutsu'd. Okay, so let's look at our position. Double weird knights. Okay, let's just go with a typical e4, maybe e4 knight c3. Now we can probably play like a g3, maybe bishop here. But again, this is like kind of like questionable. I would like to possibly play like h3 bishop over here. That could be an interesting idea. And that might be a powerful diagonal. We had a huge blunder last game of the scope over here. That's not possible this game, I think. Okay, let's see. Maybe we should put... let's just develop knight first. Let's play like chess that makes sense if we can. Hopefully. And then we'll go from there. Now, notably, he can just, if he ever wants to defend this pawn easily, he can just push g6 or even g5 for the memes. And then if I can somehow take it and not realize that, then I'm losing a piece. So, let's see what happens. And that is a tricky idea that people like to do. They like to just push pieces to squares to open up the bishop. So, let's see. Now, do I want to put my knight on e3? Knight e3, knight d5 is a really nice outpost. The problem with it is that he can also just push c6. We should probably just play this relatively simply. Let's just play knight e3 and then go from there. Okay, we have a little bit of the copycat gambit, which is okay with me. Okay, so we could play this super aggressive. We could not play this super aggressive. We should probably just play this sound. I like this and then this. I think this is okay. I don't think it's great. The problem is this bishop. So we might have an idea of bishop a2, and then we have g4, and then both bishops are super useful, which is good. And then we have bishop defending this pawn, and we have this bishop scoping this pawn, which I think is okay. It's not great, but it's also at the same time, what am I going to do at this point, right? There is another idea of playing like something like f3 or f4 and then putting like a bishop, I don't know, somewhere along this diagonal. Okay, so is he threatening anything? The answer is not really. Okay, but he has that nice knight. We could also go here, and then notably, if he takes, we just take, and then we're very chill on this villainous. And then he doesn't have an idea to push his pawn, but then we get the bishop for a knight. Okay, so let's see. We could also just continue with our plan. We could play this simply, I don't know. I'm trying to think about this logically. Okay, so d3 move the queen, and then potentially even castle. I kind of also just like bishop here for the sake of development. Bishop here for the sake of development is okay. He cannot threaten anything right now as far as I know. This is a very basic bland position so far. Now, I believe we play knight d5. Okay, no, we don't play knight d5 because he simply pushed a pawn attacking this square. It's just 2 times. Knight d5 is still actually quite interesting. So knight d5, let's just say knight takes, bishop takes, pawn takes. Incredible, good arrows. Yes, we do have a really awkward pawn, but we do have, we still have our bishop here. I don't know if I want to go into that so easily. We could also temporarily play like g3. G3 is interesting. G3 to kick the knight, and then we get knight d5, which is like maybe okay and maybe something I want to explore. I don't know if I really want to do that though. I kind of want to play a bit of a passive move. Let's just play d3 for now. d3, maybe queen d2, and then long castle looks okay to me. I could be wrong, but I'm probably not. Okay. Yeah, what a weird game so far. Okay, let's play queen d2, potentially long castle, maybe kick the knight away, simple, stupid chess. Okay, also, we have an idea to play our knight here still. Wait. Okay, so long castling would not drop this pawn. Okay, so if I play this, this is going to induce him playing this, you know? At the same time, we could also just play temporarily like g3, and then we can put a knight on d5, and that would be super annoying for him, right? Hopefully you guys see the threat. I'm not streaming, so I'm not going to get sniped, I think. Knight d5, and then we're threatening the royal fork, which I'm sure he'll see. This guy seems good. Okay, fine. We lost a pawn, but we get a knight here. I did not see this because I'm dumb. That's a little annoying because I'm sure he's going to see this. Yeah, you could do that too. In like 2 seconds. Yeah, so this is why this game mode's a little tricky. Because you have to be careful. Okay, I'm actually not even worried about that pawn being a pawn down right now. The problem is that if he cracks the center, my king is a little bit vulnerable. But I do want to just play like super aggressive chess. So in lieu of that, I want to play b4, b5. b4, b5, if he pushes h6, fine. Okay, so let's just go super aggressive. Let's go. Because he long castled, I didn't. And I want to attack you. I like attacking because I don't like thinking. And when you attack, you actually do have to think. But me, nah. Now, notably, he can't just play this immediately. Okay, so he says, no way, I'm not letting you do what you want to do. So he's threatening my queen now, which is a little annoying, but he's actually not, because then we just take with the bishop. So let's say if he wants to threaten my queen, quotation marks. Do you want to threaten my queen? He doesn't. Okay, so the problem is like if we push c4, then he gets here. Now his knight is like borderline trapped. I don't think it is yet, but let's just play this. Oh my god, his knight is trapped. Yeah, I take it back. His knight is trapped, but listen, so is mine. But I think my knight being trapped is better than your knight being trapped, because I'm attacking you and you're not really attacking me, as far as I know. Yeah, so my knight is trapped too. The difference is I could desperado, but that seems really ballsy because that gives him a semi-open file. So that desperado may not be good. Now, we also have another idea of a knight b6 desperado. The problem with that is that he also doesn't have to take, right? He can just go there. Now, I like my knight being taken by the pawn, because if the knight is taken by the pawn, I can replace the knight, and then I have a super strong knight. So we're gonna take, and then he's gonna take, and then we're gonna have this. So I'm not the most happy, but I'm not aggravated. Now, another option here is to take the pawn on a7, which is probably really strong, but it's also has its drawbacks. Now, the thing is, if I take the pawn on a7 and he takes here, we can take with the bishop, and we're basically in smooth sailing. So I feel like I want to take the pawn on a7 first. The really obvious move is to take like this. Can I be punished if I don't take the pawn on a7? So let's just say I take... this is a little more aggressive, and I feel like this is more in line with my plans. This might be bad, but it might not be bad. I don't know. Okay, a couple of my pieces are stuck. Like, these have no play, but I feel like I have a strong attack, sort of, but not really. If my knight drops in or hops into action, I'll be okay. Another idea is queen a2. Queen a2, maybe rook a, then he has here, and then we have something like this. And then he might be in trouble, but he also might not be, right? Because then he goes here, and then what do? Take? Yeah, he just takes. Who cares? And then it's defended enough times, right? So we have to think about that before we move forward with our plans. Now, he really has to think, do you want to take this pawn? The answer should probably be no. Like, taking this pawn seems like a huge liability for you. I don't know if I would recommend it. Okay, he still does it. That seems insane to me. Wow, maybe he wants to play queen b3. Okay, so bro is going all out, balls out here. So here's the thing, is that now his queen is hanging. So I didn't even see that till I just saw that like 2 seconds ago. So back-to-back opponents hang their queens. Actually, it's back-to-back-to-back, because the first game, that's not going to make this video, my opponent blundered their queen, but I had 8 seconds left, so I lost. Okay, this game is not over. When you're winning a game of chess, you gotta play it to the end. Play it to the end, right? Notably there, I didn't even have to take. So don't play like the game is over, because this game is still going. Anyone can mess up. Chess is stupid and it's hard. Remember that. Now, we could simplify down simply by rook a8, and then we can claim the rook. Now, here's the thing. We could also play this aggressively with a move like queen a2, maybe queen a5, and then rook a8, and then he has to play something like this, right? That looks okay to me as well. We could just simplify down. I feel like queen a2 is the way. Now, you also don't want to overthink if you can. Also, king e2 is interesting. King e2, so he can't hop in his knight, right? Because notably right now, my queen is actually hanging. Aha, so my queen's hanging and my bishop's hanging right now. So that's a huge issue. Okay, so maybe we play like king e2. Can I castle? Okay, that's incredibly risky because I think my king's on g... No, I can't castle. Absolutely not. Maybe we just play queen a2, and then he goes here and we sacrifice our bishop, right? So queen a2, he goes here with check. King e2, he takes the rook, and then that's a rook. Yeah, then we have this. Yeah, but then let's look. All right, let's just play king e2. King e2, then we have options rook a1 or queen a2. Could be interesting. Now, if I was not careful there and I played a random move, I literally would have lost my queen. So know that. The game is not over till it's over. Now, he does have some interesting counterplay options. I was going to say e4. e4 is a very nice idea, but here's the problem with e4, my friend. I can let you take that, and then maybe I can play king d1 and you have no threats, and I do, right? So let's keep the foot on the gas, right? Now, here's the problem with this, right? This, and then he can push with a discovered attack on my knight. Okay, I see an insane play here. Wait. If I play this, like if he goes here, we can just push activating the bishop, which seems like insanely strong. Wait, I think I see a move. Oh, well, let's go insane here, right? Obviously, this is coming, but also I have this. I don't know. And here's the thing: is that no matter what, I can simplify down here, and then I could probably move my queen with a check. This is a risky move. This is a move you should not be playing. I should not have played this. This is an incredibly dumb move. Yeah, this is a stupid move. Notably, I'm still completely winning, but I do have to be a lot more careful than I would have had to be like 2 seconds ago. So the idea is like rook a8. So even if he pushes, wow, I'm surprised he actually did that. That's interesting. So like I said, king d1, and he probably will push here, right? So people like to push pieces or pawns in front of their bishops, and then you don't see it. Oh no, you lose your queen. So that's not good. So I want to play something really interesting. So rook a8, and then the thing is though, I probably even could have sacked my knight. Yeah, so now I can always take like this. Yeah, I allowed unnecessary counterplay, but the thing is though, there is no thing. I'm just an idiot. I just allowed unnecessary counterplay for no reason. Okay, let's just take with check. See, I played like an absolute bozo, and now I'm like losing a knight. But also I have this, right? So I'm like not losing a knight. Pause. I'm like not losing a knight because I can also check out of that. Yeah, I can also just like check out of it, no? Maybe I'm not losing a knight. This seems like the lesser of two evils, I would say, than just losing a knight. Okay, so that seems like insane. I feel like I want to like let him potentially win my bishop so I can win back this pawn. Okay, I also have to like try to stop yapping so much. Okay, let's just let him probably win the bishop and then go from there, because I probably have some strong attack, but I do have to be careful. Because I could probably mate him. Now, if he takes the bishop, he's potentially taking the rook too. Okay, I think I have a mating attack, though. All right, let's just take the pawn and then potentially even go here. I think I have a really strong mating idea. Okay, if I go here, but he can go, unfortunately, he can go here. Okay, I feel like I'm just going to go for it. Potentially even sack my knight. Okay, my time is ticking. The yapping needs to come to a pause. Okay, if I go here, he takes here. I go here, that's checkmate. Unless it's not, that would suck. Hopefully he takes my knight, because that would be insane. Yeah, this guy's good. Okay, let's go rook a1 for any checkmate, and that should be almost game over. The one thing we need to look out for is he's going to possibly just take with check, which is fine. Yeah, that shouldn't be stoppable. The question is, what do we do here? Mate is now unstoppable for me. Now we just don't want to allow counterplay. So we have some funny ideas. He's going to sacrifice his rook. I don't think we care. I think we just take the pawn. What are you going to do? Yeah, wait, what are you going to do? Sack your rook? I don't care. Wait, sack your rook. Go ahead. Okay, so mate's unstoppable here. There's literally no way to stop mate. The only check is this. So This was a good game. I mean, maybe I'm celebrating too early. This was not a good game. I take it back. I actually didn't play this that well. I allowed counterplay. Don't allow counterplay. See what I said? I could have lost this game. So one thing about Chess 960 ELO is we can see he's not even 1500. I think I knocked him out of that. But he is 2000 rapid and about 1800 blitz. So the more you know. Ladies and gentlemen, something you've never seen before. E4! Mistake! Oh my God. So it wants F4, C3, G3, or D4. It wants D4. What? The only time I don't play D4? Okay, whatever. E4, E5, another miss. Oh, what an idiot. Wow. Okay, knight B to C3, knight B to C6, knight E3, knight E6. Terrible moves by us. H3. Wow, I'm so stupid. Okay, so by the way, it once again, like these slow moves like G3, D3, Queen D1, Knight E2. Like it wants like slow moves here. H3 is a slow move, but apparently it's like the worst slow move. Great. My bad. I should have known my opening prep and theory for this. Okay, so Knight F4, another miss. It probably wants slow moves from him. Yeah, so G6, Queen D8. So it wants like really slow, like slow moves. G6 may be an idea just again to like open these bishops, right? That makes sense to me. Okay, but I guess it doesn't because I didn't do it. Okay, so bishop H2 is literally second stock fish move. It's wait, whoa, no, not anymore. Apparently it's not anymore. It was for a second there. So once again, G3, D3, B3, Queen D1. Okay, so bishop H to H2 or bishop H2. Wait, what? It's not even that bad. Okay, whatever. It's an accuracy. Let's just move on. Okay, so F6. Never play F6. Terrible. Never play F6. And now I play the slow move. D3, D6, Queen D2. So this is what it likes. This is what it wants. It wants you to slowly develop and make your position gooder. But he plays Queen E6. You don't want to push your queen 2 squares. You want to push it 1 square. What about? No. Queen D7, way better. Always remember that. Yeah, it's a joke. Okay, so G3. Now G3 is a little too slow. I'm stupid. Because I lost my pawn? Yeah, but it's interesting here because, okay, in the game, I lost my pawn and I didn't even realize I was losing the pawn. Obviously, like, it's hard to pay attention to everything. So G3. And I'm already getting the comments like, wow, you lost a pawn. It's terrible. So even though I lost a pawn, I was like, I'm actually totally fine here. And I was a little upset that I lost a pawn, but I was like, this position is actually okay. And it was plus 1.1. I'm doing better, even though I'm down a pawn. Because he can't really attack my king or anything, right? Knight C to D5, and then he long castles. Okay, so long castling here I thought was just a little crazy, and it turned out to be because I play a little ballsy. Okay, so B4 on the board, just a good move. Again, it wants slow moves, and it probably wants you to also long castle here. This is probably why it's like only good, and the computer doesn't like it so much. Okay, so B4, Knight D4, fine, Knight D4 inaccurate. And here again, we had to be careful and like not lose the queen. But then again, it's like we don't lose the queen. Remember that? Okay, so C3, kicking the knight away, and then Knight B5, giving me too many tempi and too many times. So I have A4, and now my attack is well underway. And if you remember, I'm like, okay, my attack's not super strong, but I definitely have one. Notice this knight connection is really, really good. So if he ever takes, I can replace. Okay, so now he plays C6. Bit of a mistake. And in positions like this, if you ever find yourself in, something like this, do not panic. And don't always play a move. That's the tactic. The tactic here is desperado. Not you actually do have a desperado, but as I was talking about earlier, we'll probably see, it's not even on the chart. So desperado is wrong. Obviously, this is still winning, but you want to just, if you can, you want to try to play chess logically, right? So I use process of elimination, and I tried to use logic here, and then I realized AB is the best, which it is. Why? Take and replace, right? Is that good? No, I'm an idiot. Don't take and replace. Oh, everything's out the window. Okay, fine. I'm a moron. But, okay, listen, we're not robots. We're humans. Taking and replace for a human is totally fine. I'm not even listening to the engine here. You know what the engine wants? The engine wants us to get ED. We don't want ED. Okay, so Queen D7, and then you play on. You can be the judge of your own existence, right? But also, right, ED is very good. I think I was considering ED. I don't know if I was. I don't think I was. I was considering him taking in this, right? But now that I actually look at this, I can understand why the engine is like ED. Queen moves, and then we have rook takes a7, and then we're absolutely cooking here. But I still think my approach was completely fine. Just because an engine says you played inaccurately doesn't mean you played bad. Always remember that, right? Fishes play perfect. You're not a fish, and you're also not Bobby. Okay, so instead we played the immediate rook takes a7, which is second stock fish move. I don't even know what I was just saying. It's actually completely tied. ED is plus 4.76. Rook takes a7 is plus 4.54, which I think is a little more human and a little more gooder for humans. Okay, so now we have DE, bishop takes, and now we have a very strong attack. So we see D5, bishop F5. Obviously, this is just the, so here's the thing though, is that he is completely screwed in this position. And I don't think he actually had a good move. So queen e8 and I am +5. And what does the fish want here? Yeah, bishop takes b7. And then this is too risky, right? King b8. And then what do we have? Maybe queen a2. Apparently bishop c6. That is disgusting. Bishop this, and then you can take. And this position is just devastating for black. So apparently giving up, where did he do it? Giving up the queen apparently wasn't so bad. And obviously he didn't play this to give up the queen, but it wasn't even terrible because of how lost he was. Okay, so knight g5, bishop takes, king e2. Now, obviously, king e2 is not a move that you have to play, and you'll see now the eval goes down slightly. When I say it's not a move you have to play, I was considering more aggressive options, and I didn't like it, right? More aggressive options you can play are moves like queen c2. King e2, by the way, is literally tied with queen c2, right? So queen c2 plus 6.3, king e2 is plus 6.23. Best option, which is a beautiful move that I did not see, is f4. F4 pawn takes, and I think pawn takes, but that looks a little more spooky to me. Like, I don't like this because, okay, now it's like, okay, now my king's a little more vulnerable, but it's probably not, and I'm totally fine. And also, it wants knight f3 check, which is crazy. What happens if you go here? Just f5. Wow, f5. And that's devastating. f5. Real devastating. Opening up the bishop and... Okay, I mean, you guys see it. Terrible arrows. Okay, so fine. Okay, so instead, king e2, and then we saw e4. And what did I play here? So I played queen a2, a little too aggressive. So this is, in my brain, now Engine says that this is excellent. I don't agree with Engine here. I actually disagree with what I did because I think it was maybe a little too risky and I shouldn't have done this. What could I have done here, though? Okay, so Engine really likes DE. If pawn takes, I think you have a rook a8. Yeah, and then you're actually threatening mate. Also, keep in mind you have the connection. So if you don't find mate, you can easily just simplify down and then go from there. Another interesting idea here with rook a8 is king c7 only move, and then you have a g4, right? This is what I was spotting earlier, but I didn't quite see that. I think I played this a little too risky, and I almost got my head chopped off for it. Okay, so ed check. And here, king d1 is plus 5.4, and king takes d3 is just way better. It's not way better. It's plus 6.46, right? But king d1 is actually a very safe option. But I should have gone for the most safe option. I don't know why I didn't take this pawn. I was like evaluating in my mind, and I was like, this is messy, but probably isn't. I bet we were basically threatening mate. Wow, rook takes b7, king takes, and then queen a6, right? Yeah, now we're threatening mate. That's funny. Okay, yeah, I didn't see that. Engine just told me that was there. So, moving on, we have d4 attacking my knight. And I go, okay, this is like slightly annoying. In my brain, I go, let's just try to simplify this down. And keep in mind that, like I said, I was like allowing some counterplay. I think actually what I was thinking about with king takes d3, now that I'm looking at this now, is that if he pushes, the knight is pinned and then this is attacked. And that just didn't look good for me. A computer can think yeah, it's fine because we're totally winning, but a human like me, apparently I'm not an AI, is like, that's a little too risky. All right, moving on. So we see d4, my knight's hanging. Computer really likes here immediate knight d5 over rook a8. So like the knight d5 idea is a very nice idea that I found. And then we even see Engine shows bishop g4 check, but let's just say Engine plays bishop takes d5, and then rook a8. Yeah, rook a8, and then we're threatening mate king c7, and then what do? Maybe queen a5. The g4 idea. But let's just say instead Engine goes here, queen takes d5. I didn't see that. My time was also ticking, right? When time ticks, try to play simple. Okay, so here Engine likes queen a7, but who cares, right? Rook takes rook, knight d5. Very, very nice idea that I'm happy that I found. But keep in mind, I allowed counterplay that I shouldn't have. I played too frisky. And this is where it got a little dicey. So bishop g4 check, king d2, knight f3, losing the bishop, which I evaluated was okay. I wasn't too worried about that, and I wasn't even worried about losing my rook because I was maybe even threatening mate. So king takes d3, knight takes h2. Engine probably wants you to play like a little more of a defensive move and wants you to play bishop f5 check, and it's just dead lost here for white. Okay, so now knight b6 check is a little bit of an inaccuracy. Engine actually really just likes queen a7 because queen a7, this, and then you probably have this, and this looks real bad, right? This, and you're getting mated, and here you're getting mated, and king e6 apparently is best move, and then yeah, and that's lights out. Good night. Try to win that position, right? King takes here, and then you're, yeah, that's what you're doing. Oh, that's wrong. Is there mate? Is there mate? No, there's mate. That's disgusting. Okay, so king c7, and then I was like, okay, now I'm cooking. By the way, king takes mate over here, which I saw, so I'm like, okay, I'll lose a bishop and a rook for checkmate. That's good. So king b8, opponent smart, rook a1. Now mate is absolutely unstoppable. It just wants you to delay. You can sack and whatever. Now you can do this again and probably just walk out of checks. Walk out of checks, and yeah, you're basically just threatening mate in a second. Okay, I'm not doing this. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave some feedback if you did. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.